Hello kids, we were studying the chapter Why Do We Fall Ill, and today's topic is Principle of Prevention. So what are Principle of Prevention? Actually there are various ways to prevent infectious disease. So we will study that in this topic. So first of all, we are going to study general ways of preventing infectious disease. What are the general ways? Like we can say personal health measurement. In personal health measurement, we can say what are the personal health measurement like nourishing and balanced diet. It provides the body with all essential components of food like protein. It's a bodybuilding material. Carbohydrates. It provide energy. Fats. It also provide extra energy. Vitamins. These are essential for the body. Minerals also essential, and roughage in the correct proportion. Actually, when we are taking these in a correct proportion, body will remain healthy and fit. Actually, these nutrients are required for the growth and repair of the body of an organism, right? Next, we can say personal health. Taking care of one's own body is you can say personal health. Here we can say personal hygiene or cleanliness, physical exercise, rest, sleep, and healthy habits. It includes, right? And third, we can say personal cleanliness. It involves like body parts like cleaning skin, hands, nails, teeth, eyes, ears, nose. Yeah, it also include you can say regular bath, clean and wash clothes, brushing our teeth, washing our hand before each meal. All these, right? These are personal cleanliness, we can say. And regular physical exercise is also really important for maintaining muscle of the body, to keep them toned, and good condition of heart and blood vessels so that our circulatory system works properly. Actually, exercise reduce blood pressure, sugar level in the blood, and keeps our joint in working condition. So that's why regular physical exercise is very essential. We should always take proper rest and sleep because it helps in keeping good mental health. If we are not taking proper rest or sleep, so it may create disorder in our body like a headache or something. So rest and relaxation help in uh, many ways like rejuvenation. Okay. Next, we can see clean food, clean water, clean air. We have already discussed. If these are clean, so we will be infectious free. They will prevent the infection, and clean surrounding is really most important, right? Okay. Next, moving towards public health measures. So a person, if we talk about a person cannot stay healthy if his surrounding or neighborhood are dirty. So there should be a proper disposal of underground sewage, proper disposal of you can say waste by underground sewage pipe from the colonies to prevent vector-borne diseases, right? And clean and filter chlorinated and germ-free drinking water should be available. This is to prevent waterborne disease, right? Next, we can say we need clean surrounding and less crowded area and open habitats so that airborne diseases are prevented by this. And we need fresh air. And here we can say providing nutrition education at community level helps in maintaining the you can say nutritive or you can say good health of the community, right? And family planning center should be there to educate people about the importance of small family. Actually, if the family is small, the one can take care of each and every person in the family, right? But if the family is large, there's a really difficulty in keeping everyone safe, healthy, and taking care of each and every person of the family, right? So there should be a small family, and people should be educated. Community health education to help people know the causes, spread, and treatment of common disease. With this, they can be prevented if they follow preventive measurements, right? So these were the general ways of preventing infectious diseases, right? And if we are talking about the specific ways of preventing infectious diseases, so our body immune system protects us from various pathogens. How they protect? There are, you can say, two type of mechanism. One is internal defense mechanism and other is external defense mechanism, which are against the microbes. So first of all, if the microbes try to enter our body, they interact with external defense mechanism, right? What are the external defense mechanisms? It can be the waxy epidermis of skin. Actually, our skin prevent or do not permit any entry of microbes of for, you can say, underlying tissue, right? So in this way, skin is a big barrier for these type of pathogens, right? Next is eyes. Eyes, you might have seen there, when anything falls into eyes or something, tears appears out, right? Actually, tears, these are, you can say, having the secretion of lysosomes, and these destroy the bacterial cell wall which tries to enter, and that's why the tears comes out, and with the tears, anything or any bacteria is removed out of the eye. In this way they protect eye. And like here in the ear we are having earwax, right? So it also prevent entry of many uh, bacterial pathogens or any other thing, right? So what happens, it stick to that bacteria or something, so with that the bacteria is not able to enter the ear, right? In the same way, our stomach, in our stomach here, we know that HCl is released, right? And this HCl kills the microbes which are entering with the food. So in this way, hydrochloric acid, or you can say stomach secretion, protect us from many bacterial diseases, right? Bacterial or infectious diseases, right? And cilia and mucus, these are also present and secreted by cell wall of respiratory pathway. So they do not permit any entry of microorganisms inside the respiratory passage, like a trachea or something, or into the lungs, right? So cilia and mucus, like in our nose, mucus is there, yeah, and little small thread like structure cilia are present. These prevent, you can say, entry of any pathogen into respiratory tract. Okay. Next, if we talk about internal defense, so here internal defense against the microbes, we can say microorganism that cross the first line of defense of the body, that is external one, and gain entry into the body tissue. Now they are entered in our body. They pass the external barrier, and when they comes into internal barrier, some organisms are more powerful, and they anyhow try to manage to enter external barrier. So what happens now, they are entered into the tissue. And here now what happens, uh, in our body, our cells like WBCs, white blood cells, which are known as the soldiers of the body, they recognize that it is the foreign particle, right? Like a bacteria, virus, and even larger molecules. So what happens, they attack them, right? So they do not allow foreign antigen to enter our body, and what they do, they start killing them, right? In the same way, phagocytic WBCs, which are known as macrophages, right? These patrol the exposed surface of the lungs, like alveoli, and engulf the microbe that enter the alveoli along with the air. So in this way, they prevent entry of microbes into the lung. Okay. Next here, B lymphocytes are also present. These are the cells, or you can these are the, you can say, antibodies which are produced on B lymphocytes are the cells which produce antibodies on coming in contact with any foreign antigen or a pathogen. So they produce antibodies, right? And these antibodies kill the foreign antigen and destroy them, and they provide antibody mediated immunity, as I told you. It's the ability of a body to fight against diseases, right? Yeah. Next, there are T lymphocytes are also present. So what is the function of T lymphocyte? Either they attack the pathogen directly, or they produce chemical which helps in coordination, and they coordinate with all the activity of the other cell of the immune system. Like, they help to produce antibodies by, or you can say, with B lymphocytes. So these are known as the helper T cells or suppressor T cells, right? So both B and T lymphocytes produce memory cells. Like, it's a long-term memory or a long-term immunity which provide immunity against the antigen which has already entered. They recognize that same pathogen has already entered the body, or some time period prior the pathogen entered the body, so we have to kill that. And they having antibodies as they identify them. So these antibodies which are already formed in the body, they attack that pathogen and it kills them. In this way, they protect us, or you can say they protect an organism from attack of any pathogen, right? For an antigen. Okay, that's all for the day. We are going to study the vaccination topic which is left in the next class. Okay, thank you.